Hello. So, what the hell has been going on? Number one, I moved. So, that's been a whole recalibration in and of itself. I think a lot of us for a while now, we've been doing a lot of shifts. People have been shifting a lot. Overall, the general consensus has been that we must preserve our energy, we must clean up our circles, we must clean up our minds, figure out, understand ourselves, we must understand our own triggers, etc., so that we can be a little bit more self-aware when interacting with others. And we have figured out that not everybody is trying to do this. And we have figured out that those that are not trying to actively do this, actively evolve into this higher energy, we know that there are a varying degree of these people in our lives, and they will have to be at varying distances, metaphorically or physically, because the law is the law and resonance is resonance. And if we do not resonate because we are going two separate ways in terms of behavior and evolution, it's going to not work anyway. So we've understood this, and we've understood that we need to separate. And many of us have separated, from our family, from our friends, from our partners, all for the sake of, focusing on us, understanding us, healing us. And we have started shifting into relationships with these higher vibrations. Yes? Yes. Okay. So what the fuck? So what is happening? Why is it hard but easy? Okay. So we've gone and done all this work, and we have all these answers, and we totally understand so many of our triggers. While we've done all of this understanding, what most of us have not had is the opportunity to practice this knowing, the opportunity to practice these new characteristics, these new personality traits, these new ways of talking. We haven't really been able to practice this in a healthy environment yet, right? Because all the people that were around us before were not able to have difficult conversations in healthy ways, or were not able to sort of align in just what we do, what we want to do with our lives. And therefore our conversations simply start to fade. It's like it's very difficult to find common ground anymore. So while these people that were in our lives, if these people continue in our lives, what happens? We sort of get to this general state, this sort of basic layer of enlightenment. We become this person in our reality that sort of holds a lot of wisdom for things. But we tend to feel alone a lot, right? And it's because the people around us can no longer help us evolve. Why? Well, because they cannot do the difficult things that you need to do. What you need to do is practice talking to yourself and or others differently. Well, how are you going to do that if you cannot have someone in front of you that is also talking to you differently? You see, if the person in front of you is talking to you the same way as always, well, you will simply be able to be you're just not there yet. And you will be able to simply walk away from the conversation, and you don't have to change, and you don't have to do anything hard, and you don't have to really face your triggers. You're just this person is triggering me. They're triggering me because they cannot see something within themselves, and I can see that they can't see it. And so there's nothing for me to do other than remove myself and allow this person space. And that is the way we deal with regular people and relationships. However, what if the person in front of you is an evolved being who's willing to do the scary things, to have the scary conversations, to talk about the triggers and where they come from? Terrifying. So, this is our challenge now. This is our challenge. But this is why it's weird, because we're we've done all this work. I should be less triggered. But no, because that little wounded, little baby, little toddler, little teen is still running around. It's still running crazy in there. They're still running rampant. So what that means is that triggers will continue. But now that you have made the conscious, intentional choice to be around, you're getting it, to be around other people that are also making the choice, this gives you and them room to practice. And that doesn't mean that that's super easy. But it is exciting because this, my friend, has been the first, for many of my healer people, this has been some of the first opportunities you have had to really be able to practice these knowings. To be able to practice taking a breath. And this is really something to celebrate because it must mean that we've freaking done it. We put ourselves in a healthier environment. We put ourselves in front of people that are aligned to the path that we want. We put ourselves in front of people that can hold the space for your tears, for your trauma, for your triggers that may seem fucking infinite. You found the space. That's amazing. I promise that the more you give yourselves the opportunity to be honest with always first you, the easier it will be to be honest with those around you, the ones that you want around you. It will be so much easier to just be honest about these literal juvenile triggers, right? And not juvenile in a derogatory sense. We're not degrading these bits of ourselves. That's not the point. We honor them by giving them space, acknowledgement, and space. Safe space. Which is what we didn't have before, but we have now. But the triggers don't go away, per se, right? The best friend that you would die for is gonna piss you off eventually. Your partner that you're like, oh, is gonna piss you off eventually. Your dog is gonna piss you off sometimes. Your cat. You know what I mean? That part won't stop. How we deal with it is what changes. Remember? Okay, so what is the point of this video? Number one, to explain that we're on the right track. Oh! Number two, for those of you that feel that they have yet to receive the partner that they wish, or the best friend, the friend that they wish. Number one, trust your vibration, okay? Trust your vibration. If you trust your vibration and where you are at, you must trust that the one that you call in is a reflection for whatever aspects of yourself you need to see right now to help you along this evolutionary path that you say you want. Okay, to whatever degree this person is supposed to stay, but you will recognize this person. Of course, they will feel special, right? Okay. What you are to remember is that when you can feel that there is an upset in the field, a trigger in the field, that you can see via the person's demeanor and via the words that they are choosing, that they are actively attempting to acknowledge and find the truth behind the emotion and the trigger sensation that you're feeling disrupting the field. What I beg is that you understand that this is you giving you the opportunity to change your narratives and the way that you have behaved when sensing the similar energies in partners or friends in the past. Recognize that when someone feels triggered, you will also feel it. You will feel it in the room, of course. When someone's pissed off, you can feel it. Good. Good. Your job is not to allow your brain to go back into these loops and like, oh no, something's wrong. Notice when your brain has started going through these loops. As soon as you notice that your brain is going through these loops, this confirms to you the loops that this other person is feeling. Right? Acknowledgement. I felt fine just a second ago. I'm in front of this person. I feel like something's upset. Now I'm triggered for all these things. Oh, yes, you're right. So our job is to give this person that we have called into our lives the opportunity to actively sort of deprogram their behavior in real time in front of you. And this is incredibly difficult. The amount of trust that this conscious person, because if you trust yourself, you understand that this person is conscious, right? I'm talking to conscious people, and I'm talking to people who know that they have consciously changed the people that are around them. Okay. So, recognize the amount of trust that this person is demonstrating in you. I ask that you allow this acknowledgement to be the reason you decide to take deep breaths, and you decide to breathe, and you decide to really, this is the time where we focus. We talk to ourselves and we focus on the brain, and we focus on the brain to help the brain not go off in thought while this person is speaking to us, right? So we engage active listening, and it's an active breathing, and it's an active exchange. It is no longer about who's going to win, right? Because we're not in these past vibrations where one of us had to win or the argument was never over. This isn't about arguing anymore. It's about a person being able to first acknowledge some kind of trigger within themselves, having analyzed whether or not this is something I even need to talk about. And then if they've decided that this is something that needs to be talked about for whatever reason, them having the safety to talk about it in real time, right? Without all the dysfunctional consequences. My God. And here we are doing it. And it's almost just as hard. For sure, like to the nervous system, yeah, it's super hard. It's just as hard. But in reality, look at me. Do I look super panicked and stressed out? No, but I could be. If I had not had the 3 bazillion difficult ass conversations that I have had to have since I left Washington. It's like we're so used to being around people that are in states of stagnation. And so one sort of becomes used to having the same repetitive conversations, and the conversations never going anywhere. And things are different when conversations suddenly become productive. When people are listening to each other. When people are considering each other. When people are truly listening to the other person instead of thinking about their response, no matter how amazing your response could be. We also need to give ourselves space to feel like we don't know. Like, you don't know. I don't know. And especially when we have accurately called in people that accurately reflect our current vibration. Because if they reflect your vibration now, what's the difference between them and you? You see, if they reflect your old vibration, it's really easy for you and really easy for your ego to get a little carried away. And you kind of stop seeing yourself, right? You're like, that's not me anymore. Oh, God. But then, get yourself, your current self, in front of yourself.
and you start that next step of evolution. So, happy evolving, friends. I've missed you. I should be back more. Okay, I love you.